Here's your homework solutions to this FRQ question. This was the actual question used in 2019. The first question with the calculator. I really want you to try it first on your own and to take pride that you're trying it and not just copying the video. So fish enter a lake at a rate given, and you have an equation for the rate of fish entering in, and then fish are leaving the lake and they're modeled by a different equation. I want you to recognize this is a common type of an FRQ where you have a rate of something that's going in and a rate of something leaving. It could be fish, people, sand, whatever it is. Both those equations are measured in fish per hour, and T is measured in hours since midnight. So you should feel comfortable that you understand this is a type of question we've worked with before, and you should try part A before watching the video. Part A says, so you should press pause and do it. Part A says, how many fish enter the lake over a 5-hour period from midnight to 5? And then give your answer to a whole number. How many fish? How many is an integration question. We're just going to do it right here on the bottom. That's an integration question from 0 to 5. And I'm going to integrate the equation about entering, not the one leaving. So how many are entering the lake? So I don't have to, even on the actual exam, just write that. You don't have to write the whole thing, but you do know how to use your calculator. So let's take out our calculator, and could you type that in and get the answer? Nothing beats practicing correctly. There is no shortcut to getting a better grade here, right? It's the work that you put in. So we're going to press Menu, Calculus, Integrate. We're going from 0 to 5. And I'm actually going to give you a good habit here that you should do. So let's go back. Let's pretend like we're graphing it. It will save you time and a headache if right at the beginning of a question like this, you put it right into your calculator once so you don't have to type it in again and again. So go like you're going to graph it, press Tab. If there's something there, let's erase that. Let's go up and let's erase the next one too. And now let's type in both. So F1 is entering 20 plus 15 sine. Make sure you type it in correctly. Control divide for a fraction, so it's pi. Now we're not going to use t, it's going to be x over 6, and then double check, did I type it in correctly, press enter. We're also going to do the next one, so we're going to press tab. F2 is the one leaving, because we know we're going to have to use that, so 4 plus 2 to the exponent 0.1 x squared. Make sure I type that in correctly. And then we're now ready to do what we need to do. So instead of having to retype it all in, which was the equation for entering? That was just F1 at x. So that's all I have to type in, not the whole equation again, and then round to the nearest number. So that would be 153 fish. Part B. I want you to try your best and then do it. What is the average number of fish that leave the lake per hour over 5 hours? A couple things. Average value, that's an integration question, but you don't just integrate, you have to divide by the difference of the bounds. Remember, which equation am I using? This is the one leaving the lake. So the one leaving is defined as L, and then I divide by the difference of the bounds. That's what I'm going to type in. So I'm going to go Control Divide, clear up. There it is. I'm going to go Menu, Calculus, Integrate. That should feel like common. Again, it's going from 0 to 5. Oops. And then leaving the lake was F2. And then I'm going to divide by 5. So this is what it's going to look like. I know my hover cam and the calculator or the screen being shiny, I don't know. It just has a hard time focusing in sometimes. There it is. Control, enter, and what answer we get. We need to do this to 3 decimal places. So 6.059 fish per hour. So on average, how many fish are leaving every hour over the first 5 hours? About 6 fish per hour. We can do this, right? Part C. Again, it'd be good if you read it first and tried first, like really did, right? We're almost there for our exam time. At what time T is the greatest number of fish in the lake? So greatest is a derivative question. Now, to know how many fish are in the lake, we need to know how many fish are there to begin with in the lake. So let's look. So does it tell us that there's any fish to begin with? Begin with. I don't see any. So to know that, we need to go the rate, that's the derivative, entering, subtract the one leaving, and we need to make it equal to 0. And we need to solve this equation. This is like taking the derivative equal to 0 to find the critical values for what we're looking at. So greatest, maximum, how do? You take the derivative equal to 0. In this case, the rate is the derivative. And when we're looking for the greatest number, we have to look at 2 of them. And so the ones entering, subtracting, leaving, that's what's going to give me that greatest number. All right, we're going to take our calculator, and we're going to solve an equation. So we're going to go menu, algebra, solve, and then we're going to type it in. So we already have what we need. So it's F1, oops, type that in right, F1 at x, subtract F2 at x. Then we're going to go equals 0, and then comma x. It gives me a negative answer, and the only positive answer it gives me is 6 points. I don't want the negative time one from 0 to 8, so the one I'm looking for there is 6.204 or 3. Now, I can plug a number into the rate that's smaller, and I can use my calculator for that. So in other words, I can go F1 at, oops, here we go. F1 at 1, you have to use the same number. Subtract F2 at 1. So if you plug in 1, what's the answer? And it's a positive answer. If I plug in a number bigger than 6.2, so let's say 7, so F1 at 7, subtract F2 at 7. Now you get a negative answer. So at what time is it at the greatest? And we just found right there. At this time is a maximum. So it increases there, then it decreases. At that time from 0 to 8, there's the greatest number of fish. All right, D, last one. Guess what? I want you to try it first and press pause. Is the rate of change in the number of fish in the lake increasing or decreasing? So first, the word increasing or decreasing is a derivative question. The rate of change is it increasing? So that means we take the rate and take the derivative, and then see when I plug in 5, is the answer positive or negative? So is the rate of change in the number of fish? So I have to take both, right? So it's not just one, I got to take both. So I got to take both and plug in 5 and then see what the answer is. Ooh. And we can do this in one step. So we can go menu, calculus, derivative at a point. X is our variable, and our value is at 5. And then when I type it in, I can type both in at once. So I can type in F1 at x, subtract F2 at x, and then see what the answer is. So notice how the answer is negative. So what does that tell you? Is the rate of change increasing or decreasing at 5 a.m.? And the answer is it's decreasing. The rate of change is decreasing. at 5 a.m. And then this shows why it's decreasing. All right, Mr. G Math over and out. Great job doing your homework.